Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Chicago Junction from the Johnsonville Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment on Wednesday, March the 12th, the year 2025. Today, the panel will be talking about railroads and model railroads. And now to start today's broadcast is our announcer, Mr. Brian.
Yay!
Yay! Good evening, John. Good to see you. We are here for the first broadcast
That's right.
of 2025.
That's correct, Ryan, and it's just a wonderful feeling to be back sitting behind the control board and looking at you and Ron.
You really need to get your glasses fixed.
Yes, you need, or change your medications or your brand of booze.
I tell you what, guys, I go once a month to Resurrection Hospital for treatment on my eyes.
It's not doing any work.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
You in the audience, it'll be good to have you back. And we'll start off with the news. I am Brian Fallu, and yes, I'm a retired railroader. I'm retired Navy. I work with Operation Lifesaver, and I work in museums and help restore some of the equipment. I'm working with steam and all. And my cohort next to me.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ron Messner, and I'm also retired, but I was in the military for 2 years, and that was enough. And I'm a garden railroader, and soon I'll be putting my garden back in place. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
I do have a garden railway. Most of my trains, I'm close on Aristocrat, but I got a lot more in Lionel, large scale. And everybody says Lionel was cheap.
Everybody does what they want to do.
That's right.
You know, there's some,
hey,
and then we get criticized for what we have.
That's it.
And then it's like, I'm in the hobby to be in the hobby, but don't criticize what equipment I'm carrying on my layout. You know, just because you like the top of the line and can afford the top of the line doesn't mean that I have to follow in your footsteps.
That's true. You know, me, I still play with my O gauge. You know, you had to start somewhere.
That's right.
And we are.
So what's new and exciting in
the world of railroading?
Other than this last month, was it month and a half or whatever, that we've had rail accidents and still people are doing stupid things?
Oh, yes, people are still doing stupid things. Actually, for Illinois, they've had a heck of a month coming up. I was going to talk about that after I got some of the other good news.
Okay, well, let's go to the good news first.
We'll do good news.
Good news.
Okay, to improve safety at grade crossings, railroads continue to tap new as well as tried and true technology. Hi-Rail, a new company, offers full-depth rubber grade crossing manufactured from recycled rubber. The crossings themselves are recyclable once they reach the end of their life. The crossings are designed to fit timber ties from 8.5, 9, and 10 feet in length. Company officials said in an email, in addition to fitting timber ties, Hi-Rail rubber crossings can be also manufactured to fit steel ties, as well as numerous concrete ties and fastening systems. Now that's good. That's a good thing.
Sounds interesting.
It sounds interesting. But in the world of railroading,
there's that but.
Hey, besides California burning up on the western portion, the Caltran has completely completed its electrification process from San Francisco to San Jose. They, in turn, have these nice new electric cars, and they're called, made by Stadler, and actually there's one of the modeling companies has been making it in HO scale. And to help with the overload of locomotives and cars that they still have sitting around, they made a deal with Peru. Peru decided to start up a commuter service in Lima. And they are going to use the F40PH locos like we have here at Metra.
Okay.
They're sending 19 of them. Actually, locomotives 900 to 919. Except number 10, which is already withdrawn. The engines were built in the mid-80s and later rebuilt. To go along with the 19 locomotives will be 90 double-decker coaches. Which are just like the ones we use here on Metra.
Sounds interesting.
And in Virginia. A nice surprise in good news is the rare steaming for ex-Santa Fe 484, number 2926, from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Actually, it was being stored up in Santa Fe on the branch line there, the Santa Fe Southern, and they took it out, and then in a big yard in Albuquerque, they actually took it out after being rebuilt 3 years ago and certified. They have never really run it, even when they were putting it up on to Santa Fe.
So you mean that it was certified and then it sat for 3 years before they actually ran it, and it's still certified?
Yep.
How does that work?
Very well.
I thought when you're whatever, I can't even say it now. That you have is it 2 years, 3 years, or how long?
I think it's 4 years.
Oh, before you've been recertified?
Yeah, well, because they go by firing days.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But you know what I mean?
But it hasn't been fired since it was rebuilt, except for the initial inspection.
Okay, so they don't, for the initial inspection, they don't count that.
Right. Well, they count that day. That's the official day.
The official day. Okay, because they have to fire it up to be inspected.
Yep. To see if the safeties work
and all the steam things, the gadgets, I know what I'm trying to say and it's not coming out. But
the injectors.
Thank you. Yeah, all that good stuff.
And the oil flow and such like that.
Okay. That makes sense. Now we just lost it. Are we there?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are, my friend. And believe it or not, this news is coming out of the Railway magazine from England.
So we get our news now from England.
Yeah, see, world news.
World news. Okay, well.
Okay, and one last one. Amtrak links Chicago and Florida. It takes you now from Miami, Florida to Chicago. spending 2 nights on the train
Okay.
and then 2 nights going back.
Wow.
And the thing is, it's actually making money.
That's good to hear.
It actually had a couple drawbacks a couple times. Engines kind of petered. But they got that going, and actually Amtrak itself is, as of this month, is really, really popular. It's carried more passengers in the beginning of the term.
Does it say what the cost of it is for the round trip?
Nope. They don't give that away. Because remember, you got sleepers on there.
Well, yeah, I'm aware you got variations of what you need to be for 2 days.
Well, I'd like to get down to the station, and I'll get that information for next month.
But it's still, if they've increased the volume of people going on the train, and for whatever they're doing, they must be doing something right, because
Well, finally,
I mean, we're hearing
they're getting, the engines are not breaking down as fast as they used to in the last couple of years.
well, they can say what they want about cost and everything, but if they don't maintain their equipment,
Well, see, it's not just,
I'm just saying that if
Yeah.
they don't maintain their equipment so that it don't break down when you're halfway there, I mean, come on, it just
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're trying to be as spare as they can with it. I'm sorry, If you need 2 engines, put 2 engines on it. Don't have 20 cars and 1 locomotive.
when a freight train goes, and that there's at least, depending, 4 or 5 engines on because of what they're pulling and all that.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some kind of cost, whatever, involved with looking at apples and oranges, or just
I'd put 2 diesels together, If you got a load, you got a load.
right. So why not have 2 for passenger?
And the nice thing is, here they are, they've been bad-mouthing the GEs, and the new ones that they're getting now, they're breaking down. No, I saw.
I know,
I actually saw a Hiawatha come to a standstill in the middle of it, and it was not with a red signal. The engine pooped out.
Just oy vey.
Yeah, it was an oy vey.
Well, I'm glad to hear that they're doing something right.
It's about time.
Well, yes, it's about time. They must have somebody who knows something about trains.
Oh, do you think they finally got some of them people back?
Yeah, I hope so. She was. I'm not an ex. I'm not. But man alive, common sense has never come back.
What's that?
Something that we don't do.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing them words a long time ago.
Yeah, back in your day, Sonny.
Okay, California drops zero-emission locomotive rule. State will not seek EPA waiver to require emission-free units by 2030. That's in 5 years. The California Air Resources Board, CARB, has scrapped its controversial rule which would require the use of zero-emission locomotives in the state beginning in 2030. CARB informed the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in January it has withdrawn its request to enforce zero emissions covering trucks and locomotives. The move came a week after the inauguration of Donald Trump, who frequently criticized CARB's regulatory rules. Withdrawal is an important step in the uncertainty presented by the incoming administration that previously attacked California's programs to protect public health and climate and is said to have continue to impose those programs, CARB Chair Laney Randolph said in a statement. Because CARB's regulations are stricter than those at the federal level, the agency requires waivers from the EPA in order to enforce them. It will no longer pursue these waivers for the regulations regarding locomotives and diesel-powered trucks. The regulation would have banned any locomotive that is 23 years or older from operating in California and set dates after which all locomotives built after certain years must operate in zero-emission configuration. That's good.
Okay, so how long does it take to build a locomotive? Number one.
Well, it depends upon what type you're building.
Okay.
Now, in the diesel range, are you doing a small locomotive? Are you doing one for switching? Are you doing one for passenger work? Are you doing one for freight? Heavy haul.
Okay. And then now my next question would be, what are you going to do? Are you going to scrap all the old?
Well, that's what they would do. They were going to put it through a metal shredder, I guess.
So they would then, as the cliche, where they would recycle that whole diesel.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like this.
I'm just asking. I'm not trying to.
No. Well, here you go. Here's an example. Here we have a locomotive that EMD built, a Joule battery electric locomotive. Okay? It has a small 100-power engine in it to help keep charged up. But they can use it in switching, and you've got zero emission, as you can see.
Okay, I see it.
Notice it's different. Now I have a picture of another locomotive. Same. Oh, here's a good one for zero emissions. These are battery powered. Remember our absent teacher did the story on the self-propelled container flat cars. They're going to be tested on the Genesee and Wyoming lines in Georgia. They find the Federal Railroad Administration is going to allow parallel systems to test their autonomous self-propelled flat car system on 2 Genesee and Wyoming short lines in Georgia. Battery powered, and see how it works. I would like to go there and actually see it, especially going across a grade crossing. That I would give to something to see.
Yeah, that would be interesting to, because just the way everything is going, battery, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
and how long of a not a lifespan, but how long the battery will give out
Before
performance for to move something. Is it going to be a...
Does it have a trickle charge to keep it going? That type of thing?
Yeah, will a battery last 8 hours or 10 hours, say 10 hours, to go across whatever it's taken from point A to point B.
You know, they did test it out at the railroad testing facility in Colorado.
Okay, but how far of a
In
distance
Pueblo.
was that?
Well, they got what, a 10-mile loop?
A 10 mile. Okay, so that's 10 miles.
Yeah. Well, they were testing. They were testing everything on it. Its braking system.
Okay.
It's like when you're testing a new car.
Okay. So it's just not the how long the battery is going to give you power. It's all the rest of the stuff. Okay. Okay.
And how much tonnage can they carry? That type of thing.
Yeah, that would be a big thing, because when you see the containers on the, or would there be a weight limit like with the trucks going across country?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're at weight limits. So I think the railroad would be the same thing.
Well, yeah, the railroad is too with some of its trailers.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, like if you notice some of the, like depressed center flat cars, with the big tanks rolling on them and stuff, you notice that we got double trucks at each end.
Right.
To spread the weight.
So eventually the diesel will be obsolete, but they'll use it in maybe in rail yards.
Well, here you go. Like Canadian National had unveiled a new locomotive right here. They revealed a battery diesel hybrid locomotive, like the Ford Escape hybrid. Collaboration with Knoxville Locomotive Works. 3,200 horsepower Q19-2, released in January, will be tested at locations regarding yards and branches in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana, along with the eventual cold weather testing in Western Canada. The unit is powered by a 2.4 megawatt hour, 700 biofuel-ready diesel, aims for a 50-cent reduction in fuel consumption compared with typical or local service locomotives, leading to emission reductions as well as contributing to the advanced hybrid technology. We believe that this hybrid system, if successful, will substantially reduce greenhouse gas emissions from our yard operations while maintaining our commitment to customers, communities across our network. Patrick Whitehead, Executive Vice President, Chief Network Operating Officer, said in the statement.
Well, it really sounds like they're really working and looking at the technology and trying to
see what
can work and will be better for the environment, and not just talking about it.
Right.
And that
they're showing something.
Yeah, they're
backing it up.
They're just not sitting around a table and talking and not doing anything, because that, in my mind, that doesn't prove a thing when you just sit and talk about something. Whatever it's going to be, build the damn thing, put it together, and test it. So maybe it takes 5 years, or I'm exaggerating, but
yeah.
But and then come back to the table and say, okay, this is what we did. And if the people at that table go to the yard to watch it being put together, then they have just as much knowledge about the diesel as the people that are putting it together, and not just hearsay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, and another of CN's, their acquisition of Iowa Northern, 218-mile regional Iowa Northern Railway has been approved to be from the Surface Transportation Board to be added to Canadian National's system. And if anybody's interested, Strasburg Railroad Mechanical in Pennsylvania, Mechanical Services, is looking for elite people, craftspeople who are self-motivated, results-oriented, and are looking for a unique work environment. Like the inside of a locomotive boiler.
Oh, just what I want to do at my ripe young age.
Yes. They also are going to be rebuilding a locomotive that a gentleman just bought for $2 million. And it's going to be heading north soon. And it's going to Strasburg, and that's where it's going to be rebuilt. And I have worked on this locomotive that was sold. It's a C&O Greenbrier, or a 484. They called them Greenbriers instead of Northerns, since C&O is a southern state.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that there are still some people out there that are interested in trains and that they're willing to go work on them and rebuild them or rehab them or whatever. So to some point, the industry is not dead yet.
Nope. It's not dead, to tell you the truth. Actually, a lot of the steam locomotives, people don't like the cinders or something like that. But
yeah, but they've improved on the steam because now they're using recycled oil.
Well, yeah, they've been using recycled oil.
But I mean, it's not like they're throwing in like they did way back when. But I mean, it's still it is amazing. People are still interested in trains, more ways than one. We wouldn't think they would be interested in trains. I mean, in a day's time, if we could blink and go from one museum to another, there's quite a number of people at these museums.
Oh, definitely.
If in a good day, depending on the week or a weekend, I bet you there's over 100 people that are there.
Well,
because because I don't, but I mean, when you don't do things and you don't, stuff is not being said, oh, guess what? The Railroad Museum in Union had the biggest crowd they ever had in their lifetime. And they go, really? So, and no matter what museum it is, if you don't somewhat improve your museum from the time you started, then you're in trouble. At least I think. Okay.
That's okay.
What else you got that's good news?
Oh, see, good news. All right, what else I got? Oh, let's go on some little bit of bad news.
Oh,
As I said at the beginning, the start of the month has not been good. In real incident stats, we've had a rough beginning. There have been 31 collisions at grade crossings. There have been 13 fatal injuries. And then there was 11 injuries. Trespassing, there has been 9. 7 of the 9 were fatal. 1 had injuries.
are we not paying attention to where we're at on these?
Okay.
I'm just.
All right.
It's sad.
Okay, we've been focusing on risk outreach. What I witnessed, first-hand experience from the outcome of rail incidents. Avoid distracted driving. Distracted driving leads to danger as multitasking drivers fail to notice they're approaching a highway rail crossings. Inner city outreach, serve underrepresented people on transit. OLAVs are going to be out in force. We're going to set up tables at some of the places. C-Tracks, think trains, the weeks of 9/15 to 9/21, September 15th, September 21st. CN kickoff 9/15, and trolley rides are on the 20th, are going to be given at the Elgin Trolley Museum in South Elgin. Free. And you'll have to hear a little lecture in your trolley ride.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And, well, we just had our business meeting yesterday. Our first quarter meeting. And the DuPage, there were 2 ladies there from the DuPage County Health Department. And yes, we did talk a lot about suicide and such. And the use of 988 to get the right people to talk to, counselors and such, for people who are contemplating. And it was very, very interesting. I got some brochures from it. But also, the C-Tracks Think Train Week, like I say, is going to be in September. The Railroad Heritage of Midwest America. They're the ones that bought the Silvis shops. And where the Challenger is being rebuilt now, and not in Cheyenne. The 210-2 UP engine has been stripped, and it's got its tubes there already for the boiler. And they have a string of Amtrak bi-levels to make trains, and apparently they're rebuilding one of the major owners of it is Steve Sandberg, the gentleman who rebuilt the Milwaukee Road 261 up in Minneapolis. And he's down there, and they've got one of their Milwaukee Road Skyline cars that they're rebuilding down there. They're having an open house on April 25th and 26th. And I might be there again.
Where is this at?
In Silvis, Illinois.
Oh.
It's a 2-hour, about a 2-hour ride.
If you plan to do it, pick me up.
Okay. But it being a 2-day affair, I might have to spend the night.
Oh, really? Oh, I won't go there.
I don't think Blanche will be going. After last year. No, we.
No, I'm just.
No, we.
You know what I'm trying to say without saying.
I know.
I'm being a gentleman.
Yes, I know.
Oh Lord, have mercy on my soul. Do you think Blanche would allow that?
I have no idea right now.
Well, Blanche likes me, so she would say it's all right.
Yes, she would. Last year, we went to it for their first showing. And they were the worst hosts.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they gave us a table, and we didn't get any cover for it. So I'm bringing my own canopy, let me tell you.
Oh, God.
I'll take cans of peas. I don't care. But I'm not going to have
Why were they so not cordial?
I don't know. They were real.
And was there a crowd of people?
Yes. They were giving rides. They gave cab rides. They charged $105 for a cab ride in a DD40X.
Really?
Yes. Yes, they have one of those. That was the one that UP used when they usually ran a long train. And apparently they haven't done work on it in a while by the time it got there. And they had to put new springs in the trucks.
They were really organized.
Oh, UP gave them a bunch of stuff. They gave them this Challenger. They gave them the 10-wheeler. They gave them 5 cars. And I think they got a 6th one. I mean, it's unbelievable. And also, the Queen showed up. The steam locomotive that went to Mexico.
Okay.
With CP. That was there. Yeah. $150 got you a ride in the cab of a steam locomotive.
And how far did this ride take you?
Oh,
I'm just
less
asking.
than a mile.
Ooh, that's
It was on the same track as the diesel.
that's a lot of money
Yep.
to go less than a mile.
No, I don't think it was 150. No, it was 250.
Really?
There were people that paid it.
I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
That's true. I'm crazier. So
Well,
Blanche was going to try to buy me, put me in the cab of the diesel. And I said, no, don't worry about it.
don't spend your money that way. That's... Okay, go on.
Anyway. But yeah, we're going to have Pullman Days, June 14th. So we're going to have a table set up there, and work with the tour. Illinois Railway Museums to be determined in August. And then Lamont Night Out, Law Enforcement Night, second week of August. We're going to be doing tables to help get the word out.
Yeah, I remember I have gotten from one of our events the clips that had it has the Lifesavers emblem on it. I'd like to get a couple more of those.
What you want? Crossbucks?
No, the little clips. The clips.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk after this. I know what you're.
I know what you want.
Oh no, I got plenty of that. I've got that in my. So when the kids come, I can give them a whistle and a keychain. I got a couple of those.
These aren't the plastic ones. These
Oh, I got a couple of those.
Okay.
I'm
trying to be nice.
I know you are. But
let's see what we got here.
So it sounds like within the next 6 months, give or take, that you're going to be with Operation Lifesavers, that they're really going to try to get out there and get the message across.
Yeah. We're doing more than we can. I'll be working with Metra. We're going to have fun.
Sounds like it. So
I'll let you know when Metra's going to have their sets up. Which stations they're going to be at. Okay?
all right. What else do we have? What time? How are we doing?
Well, it's almost 8 o'clock.
Oh, you got 20 minutes.
Now,
Got 20 minutes.
We got 20 minutes yet? Oh boy.
That's the clock.
Well, let me. Not that it's good news or bad news, but this past week or last week, I went to a hobby shop on the south side, and the only thing that this individual had for my scale was track. And if I needed anything, he said he'd order it for me. So he has nothing in G scale on his shelves because he said it would just collect dust. And because of the interest is, in G scale is like only at Christmas time. If they hit, depending on who bought what. But it was just kind of sad because I was looking for something I thought he would have on his shelf and he didn't. So,
well, the hobby shop in Itasca is still open.
Yeah, I'm aware of, but he's hard to deal with. And
You
I don't
think?
you know. So, I mean, it'll all work out, but it's just the idea of trying to get new people to get into the hobby and just the way it is. So as far as what we're doing, we're holding our own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the best we can do,
Well, see, that's just it. Like a lot of people were bought into our world with the large scale, in Lake Forest. We had we were at the Lake Forest, Lake Bluff Historical Society, and the Midwest Rails set up their layout there. And we had it up from December to the end of January. The longest time we've ever had the layout up.
Yeah, that sounds like a long time.
And, I mean, the people were loving it. We had a lot of repeats.
I still say, for anybody that really wants to get into the hobby, is that you buy a starter set and you just put it out in your yard and then work from there. That's the only way you're going to get yourself motivated to run trains and sit back and relax. You know, 'cause
Or we can go to the Lions Show at the end of the month.
okay.
No, at the end of the month at the high school, Lions High School.
Okay. What's that, the 29th?
Yep. 28th we're setting up. Let's see. Okay, 25th we set up. 26th.
So you're setting up,
The 25th.
which
Friday.
is Tuesday, of April or May, or March?
Okay, March. Starting, 28th. Duh. Looked at the wrong.
I'm looking
I
at-
looked at the wrong month. I looked at the wrong month. Sorry, people. But if you go to the Lions in LaGrange, the Lions High, you will see a train show on the 29th, and it'll be all scales.
Okay.
Thank you for correcting me, Ron.
Well, I was just, I mean, not that I was looking, because you said you were going to set up on the 25th, and then it's like, okay, the 25th
is in April.
is in April, which would be Friday, and March is a Tuesday on the 25th.
Yes, it is.
And I'm going, so you're setting up like 3 days before the event.
I wish.
Yeah, but that don't work that way.
Nope.
So that's why I was asking the question. Okay, you did it, okay.
It's okay.
But it's still the idea that even though you have these shows, people do come out, but that's about the extent of, because of just the way everything is going, that it's, to some sense, it's not a priority.
Yeah, there's a hobby shop to the south I really want to go to and see. The one in Berwyn.
Okay. When are you going to do that?
I'm going to drive there
When?
tomorrow. If I have to. What she doesn't know won't hurt me. Yet.
Blanche, I have your phone number.
Thanks, friend.
No, I don't do that. I just, you know me well enough,
Of course I do.
so. Okay. But I mean, it's a great hobby. It's interesting to see what other people can do,
Yes.
and that makes it even really exciting in many ways.
That's
And-
why I collect plan books. I got books on scenery to try to do something. I got blueprints for some structures, depending upon the scale, to try to make my layout look good.
Okay.
Be better dressed than I am.
And then we always think we got more than somebody else has, which sometimes, I mean, I feel that I have a lot of stuff, but
Then you go to other places.
when I go to other homes and different things, they've got much more than what I have. And yes, I would like to get a couple more things, but then I always look, where am I going to store it?
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried very hard to display the majority of my rolling stock
Mm-hmm.
out and not sitting in boxes and in a closet and with different things. And I like to get posters, and I should be changing posters around, but I haven't done that lately. And I realize, to some sense, that's something that's kind of like going to, not really to the wayside, they're still doing it, but it's still the idea that there's a lot, it tells people what you're interested in and what you've done or where you've been when they see a poster of some sort or a picture of trains.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told one time, a long time ago, that my basement is like a museum. And I kind of like felt insulted to a point, but then I realized, yeah, my basement is like a museum because I display stuff. I've got stuff that's been given to me. There's stories behind one poster that I got from somebody that I jokingly poked into her office and said kindly, like a little kid, "Did you bring me something back from where she was at?" And she said, "Yes, I did." And she handed me a poster with a train on it, So, I mean, there's a story behind
Everything.
So, I mean, it's just not a picture on the wall, if you know what, it just, and I think that's what people want to hear is how you came about some of your posters or some of your cars, or because I always said sometimes if you're in a different state or a different area and there's a hobby store, and they might say they have the multiple of the different hobbies. There's sometimes, if you walk in and they have trains and whatever, there might be something on that shelf that might have a little dust on it that you've been looking for, that you weren't looking for at the time. It's like, I've been looking for this for years, and you've got it. So it falls in my hand and I walk out the store with it. But I mean, it's still the idea that if I didn't go to that hobby store, I probably would never found what I was looking for, or not that I was really looking for it, but it just falls in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my story.
Well, it's like when I visit some of the train museums. I go through their
Gift shop?
and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
was I looking for a train movie? No. Did I find a train movie? Yes.
So you have to,
or a shirt.
you have to, not that you're shopping for every time you go to a place, but you got to
Just look what's there.
not run through the store and go, okay. You got to kind of look at stuff, because if you don't look at stuff, it's, again, whatever it was that you were looking for many years, or depending on what it was. And there it is. It's like, because no matter how, with the technology and going online and, everything, there's so much stuff out there that's not even cataloged yet, I bet. I'm just making comment, but I bet you there's stuff that hobby stores have that they'd like to get rid of. Okay. I've talked long enough.
Okay.
And I said I just sit here and make comment, but tonight, boy, I'm really
Yeah, you were going.
really jabby mouth. If that's your bookie, I'm not here.
I'm on the second volume.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what the books. These are the books you can get from Amazon.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we were talking the last time about.
Right. I got 2 and 3. So now I have 4 books.
Okay. Yeah.
Because for some reason the first book she bought me was number 12.
Okay, so where's book 1?
It's sitting. It was read and finished a month and a half ago,
Okay.
and so I'm reading this one, number 2,
Just
and then I'll go 3.
let me look at it real quick.
All these stories were
You
written
can't take anything else.
in the 20s and 30s.
What do you mean I can't?
It's amazing back then how the stories were told.
Mm-hmm.
I got quite a bit of stuff.
So
65 years of stuff.
it's nice print.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I mean,
That is it.
not to say that because of your eyes or whatever, but no matter who it is, this is nice print. I mean,
Some
you
stuff I'm taking out of there, like it or not.
you can see the words
Oh, I
clearly.
don't know yet. I'm not there.
Okay, very nice,
But there is some stuff that's my personal stuff I'm taking out of there.
very good. So, what else do we have to talk about? It's too bad our professor's not here,
Yeah.
Say that again.
but he'll be through with school.
See, they got,
Maybe he has. Wasn't there spring break somewhere along the line here?
I got stuff in there that
Yeah, should be.
Maybe he might make the next.
And it's mine.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, 5 exciting stories of the American Railway by Dillinger,
I'm not there.
and they called 5 exciting, but it actually took 5 issues to finish the story.
I know is mine and it's going with me.
That's what makes it.
Just of exciting and that somebody can do the research and make
I'm doing a show
a,
right now.
a story out of
I'm broadcasting right now.
the research
Mm-hmm.
and what actually took place
I'll go up there. and
But,
tell
you know,
100 years ago, give or take. You know,
Railroad Magazine was actually real. I had the subscription to it, and they always have a story in there. And I'm going,
I'm going
okay.
back up there Sunday. To
so
get the rest of my
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
because
they
I'm
started
gonna
in the teens.
and
You have been listening to Chicago Junction on Chicago's Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network from the John DeVito Broadcast Center on Wednesday, March the 12th, the year 2025. Chicago Junction was produced and directed by John DeVito, and our special thanks to executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment, Mr. John Chicondo. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Wednesday, March the 12th, the year 2025. Until next time, be safe and thanks for listening.